that's mostly what I got after this one, everybody. Just a long sigh, because that's very much what this game was, in a lot of ways. Second half of the second period was pretty good, I thought. Team looked really lively. They were playing aggressive offensively. They were getting a lot of shots, playing desperate, kind of, and in a good way. Like they had fire, and they were really trying to make things happen. But just just a little bit brutal there. This podcast is going to be unofficially named Deja Vu all over again, because that's where it feels like we're at. A lot of this game looked very similar to some of the more recent things we've seen from the Kraken. Yeah, I guess we'll get into stuff, I'm sure, as I get to the comments here, some more thoughts and stuff. Lindsay, hey Lindsay. Michael, over a month since this team won. I don't care if they're competitive; they're still terrible. I mean, they are competitive, and we talked about this the other night. It almost makes it that much worse in some ways, because we could legitimately get our hopes up, and we see the potential there, and it just isn't happening. It's like it refuses to happen. I don't know what it is, but the universe has just decided this team is not supposed to win this year. I don't know that it's that they're terrible, but I've never seen a team punish so much for making mistakes the way the Kraken are. Just, first goal is the rebound. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's a bad rebound, but those happen all the time to other teams. It doesn't always turn into a goal, but with the Kraken, it always turns into a goal. Things like the Donato shot that didn't go in off that sick. Oh my God, that shot was amazing. It looks so beautiful. Doesn't go in. Just unlucky, right? Whether it gets enough of his shoulder to glance up and hit the crossbar, they just don't get lucky. I don't know what it is, but this team just seems like the universe is completely working against them. Because even when they put in good efforts, they're just not rewarded for it. So props to them for, staying strong and coming out and, at least through a decent portion of this game, playing hard and trying to get it done, because I got to think it's beyond frustrating for everyone in that room right now. Just the way things have been going. Four Horsemen, good to see you. McCann, one-timers make me happy. Make me very happy. That was, oh my gosh, he was launching those things like crazy. I'm telling you, he's got one of the best shots, one of the hardest shots in the league, along with one of the best shots in the league. Gotta think at some point, once those really like heat up, I think we can still see like a bit of a hot or an even hotter streak from him at some point. Rock Jays, well, the ice tentacle was cool at least. Yeah, that was cool. I don't know how many of you were also watching via the ESPN Plus thing. It's been a weird thing where the root broadcasts never kick in till it's actually, game time, like 7 o'clock in tonight's case, whereas the Kings one is around for like the full half hour beforehand, and I've noticed almost all of the away broadcasts are available for 15 to half an hour beforehand, but root never is. So missed seeing it on that. Thankfully, RJ took video. It's already up on the channel. So if anybody missed seeing it, we've got you covered. It's elsewhere on the channel. After this stream, you can go give it a watch. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought the tentacle looked really good, and I thought that the ice shards especially, like those were the things that I was curious about. I had seen them in person in the back, in the depths of the arena, as we would do media stuff, and it's always hard because they were just light blue foam, essentially just jagged chunks of light blue foam, and I would always look at them and I would just go, huh. How is that gonna look? Because up close, it's like, not great or whatever. It looks like foam. But, man, seeing them tonight with the effect and the lights and the way they did that, like the tentacles busting up through the ice, it looked really, really sweet. And I'm bummed I wasn't there to see it in person. I'm sure RJ's going to have a lot more to say about it when we get to him in just a little bit. Nathan, oof. You said it. Right there with you. Lindsay, can someone buy the Kraken a plunger so they can unclog the neutral zone next time they play the Kings? Yeesh. I tell you, this team just cannot figure out the neutral zone. They can't figure out how to get through the neutral zone if they're playing an aggressive defense. They can't figure out still how to get through the neutral zone if they're on a power play. That's just impossible. And, their neutral zone defense has been very up and down as the season has gone on. Like to see, maybe that get improved a little bit too, but, we'll, uh, we'll get there. I'm sure. Rexology. Well, the last two games were what we thought were more what we thought the season would be. Agreed. Beginning of the season, I thought this team would be all right points wise because they were going to get like a lot of overtime points. They were going to keep all these games close. You're going to win some of those. You're going to lose some of those. You're going to get the quote unquote loser points. Just hasn't happened. And again, how are they always so unlucky with these? It's ridiculous. Let's see. Rock Jays, also, thanks for recording that pre-game show since Espen Plus doesn't show that stuff. Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, huh? Four Horsemen, Yanni effort level was Tanavesk out there, even higher than usual Yanni. I agree with that. Yanni was he was going for it tonight. I think he knew I think he was trying to break everybody out of that slump. He was just trying to make something happen because that's what it's going to take. You need guys getting fiery in the locker room, and you need guys getting fiery out on the ice if you're going to inspire everybody, break out of this losing streak that is just going on and on and on. We're up to 9 games, I think it is. Ooh, it's rough. But yes, Yanni had a very good night. Michael, so much hype for a pregame thing. It was fun and good, but way overhyped. For that amount of hype, you better have a pregame show and a mascot reveal. Yes, I know on Twitter, lots of hype for this. I thought maybe we'd see the mascot. Didn't happen. Not quite sure what they're waiting for still on that one. And I get it. It's because this was something that we expected so long ago, so it's just been kind of there bubbling beneath the surface, and to some extent I think it was also a distraction from how the team had been playing, maybe a little bit like, okay, well, we can at least focus and get excited for this because the team's in the middle of a losing streak. So I think that's kind of where it all came from. That being said, I have watched far worse pregame shows around this league. I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, I mean, could there be maybe a little bit more? Maybe, but I thought it was pretty good. Geo Show, we're getting worse. Can we decline penalties at the end of game yet? I know it's so brutal. The power play is so hard to watch sometimes. Four Horsemen, so few shots this game. Yeah, I know this one. It felt a little bit different, but if you notice, fewer shots, but the scoring chances seemed a lot more deadlier, didn't they? They were getting into the low slot, getting right in front of the goalie. They were working on tips. We saw it with JoJo's goal. He only scores that because he's right there. It's A, off a tip from Yarncroke. B, he's right there for the rebound, gets it done. Love seeing him there on the power play. That's still one of the, best things about the power play as far as I'm concerned, is Johansson always being net front. But it seemed like the Kraken emphasized, okay, we're not going to go for the volume of shots. We're not going to do the whole perimeter thing that they had been doing. We're going to go to the dangerous areas and just try to manufacture stuff from there. Hope we get the bounces, hope we get the rebounds, all that kind of stuff that, does work. It just does in the NHL. Didn't work too much tonight for them, but I do think that over time, we're going to see a little bit more results from this. I will say, the Kings did such a good job of cycling in the offensive zone, whether it was the puck or themselves. They did so many crisscrosses with their skaters, with the puck carrier. They do drop passes, all that fun stuff that I had highlighted from, I believe it was the Flyers, way back when we first played the Flyers in Philadelphia. They did that a lot, and I said that's something that the Kraken should pay attention to and should potentially try to help ease their offensive woes, because it is so hard for a defense to track a team that is moving that much in the offensive zone, and we saw that tonight with the Kraken. Look at that first goal that the Kings scored. Why is it that I think it was Yarncroak and Donskoy are the two closest Kraken to the goalie, to Drieger? That shouldn't happen. Where's the defense? Well, they were all pulled away because they were confused by all the movement that the Kings were doing. So, would love to see the Kraken maybe try that out. That being said, I like them going to the low slot like that, trying to get rebounds, trying to get tips. I think that that is still going to be beneficial for them in the long term. Reading ID. Remember when we were laughing at the idea that the Kraken should be practicing the specific scenario of a 6-on-4 with the power play unit? Yes, I do. I thought the same exact thing reading ID. I was like, what are the odds? That is ridiculous. Looked a little better tonight. Little. Nathan, been out of town for 2 weeks and still haven't won a game. It's brutal. It's bad. It's gonna come soon though. I can feel it. Four Horsemen, was that the mascot? I do not think that that was the mascot. Based on at least what I've heard through RJ, that shouldn't be the mascot. But we'll ask him when he joins us soon. Lindsay, hey, at least your Bengals won, Dylan. Sorry to RJ about the Raiders. That is right. Bengals won. Only took 31 years between playoff wins. That's nothing. Yes, very, very, very excited about that. Joey B getting it done. Love to see it. Let's see. Sergeant Pickles, just going to get into it. 3 studs. Callie doing some good dirty work. Penny's brother suddenly remembering he is half a human larger than everyone. And Driegs trying to will us to victory. I like those 3 studs from you, Sergeant Pickles. Callie had a fantastic game today. That tip that I talked about earlier, that goal doesn't really happen if he doesn't get that tip, because that makes it harder for the goalie to control the rebound, and obviously wasn't able to control the rebound because you're just making a desperation save. It allows Johansson to get the goal. I'd include Johansson in there as a 3-star probably. Played a good game. Liked his zone entries. He's one of the few guys that is aggressive with zone entries coming through the neutral zone, especially on the power play. Like that from him. Alexiak gets a little bit of a knock from me because he was, I believe, one of the 2 defensemen out there on that first goal when the defensemen were nowhere to be seen. I do believe he was one of the ones that kind of got duped there. And then Drieger, perfect Drieger game. Again, rebounds at times can be a little bit sketchy, but if the team is there to bail him out on those few opportunities that he gives up, he's shown he's the goalie on this team right now that is capable of making the big time save, and he made several tonight off some really dangerous shots. Really impressed with Drieger again. Definitely want to see him kind of get the lead moving forward, or at least until Grubauer proves that he's kind of got things together. You know what I mean? He's reset and recalibrated himself. Lindsay, still no mascot. Shaking my head. I know. It's coming. It's coming. Nathan, glad we'll be able to laugh about this when Captain Beniers lifts us the cup in 4 years. Yes. I mean, fingers crossed, knocking on wood, all that good stuff. But yeah, I do think at some point we're going to be able to laugh off these memories. I think we're doing a pretty good job of it right now anyway. Scott, the effing goals with the first 5 minutes of every gosh darn period. It never seems to end, and every time it still hits right here. It doesn't get any easier each time. Oh, I tell you. Lindsay with the wonderful reminder that we still haven't won a game in 2022. Thankfully, there's a lot of time left. Thought Lauzon was back to looking not so great. That's from Rexology. Lauzon was manhandled tonight, and I don't know why. Like, he's a very physical guy. He's perfectly capable of giving as good as he gets. But, I mean, he was just absolutely manhandled. The first Philip Deneau goal, like, that's all because he just out-muscles Lauzon. And I mean, certainly just by looking at them, Lauzon has to outweigh Philip Deneau, but just let him get leverage on him. And then other times, I think, they were trying to get under Lauzon's skin, I think, a lot, especially Brendan Lemieux. I think that was kind of like his idea, and I thought Lazon did a good job of not falling for it. And that's the other thing. Lots of like roughing, boarding, cross-checking things in this game that weren't called. And I know it seemed like on Twitter some Kraken fans were unhappy about that, but the refs were at least consistent both ways. I saw, some Kraken guys get away with some stuff too. I will always take consistent refing over the alternative every day of the week. And tonight, the refs were very consistent. Let's see. Autumn, at this point, just enjoying the game. If we win, that's exciting. If we lose, we can have long-term perspective. That's true. And that's I think where a lot of us are at. And I think that's the healthy place to be at. I mean, if you're not going to win and get all that excitement and enjoyment, might as well focus on, there is this consolation in a high draft pick, especially a high draft pick this year when there are lots of good prospects. So it is good that we can at least fall back on that a little bit. Florida, this is from Ty, Florida with 16 goals in the last 2 games. Wow. Florida is unreal. Can't wait to see what they do in the playoffs. They are just absolutely incredible right now. But let us not forget who gave them their first home loss of the season. Hunter, real talk. Can Hackstall actually get fired because of this losing streak? We have this season's worst losing streak and are quickly approaching the worst of the last decade plus. I still don't think they're going to fire him. I just don't. I mean, maybe if it gets like ridiculous, you start pushing 20 games, maybe they do something, because it's at that point you absolutely have to, from a PR perspective, just from a fan's perspective, like you have to keep people wanting to come into the building and whatnot. But I just really think that they like him as part of their long-term plan, and they've made it very clear that it is a long-term plan. And so maybe if the season ends kind of this way and they only finish with, let's say, 20 wins, he gets canned at the end of the year, because it's just, you can't do anything about that. Like at some point you just have to react to what happened. But I think there would have to be a couple more losses before that's probably considered for an in-season firing. It's also getting pretty late in the year to do something like that too, especially when the season's kind of already written off for you. It's kind of one of those, unless you maybe want to see what an assistant coach has, in the interim, it's probably not going to happen mid-season. Autumn, not saying this is all Hack's fault, but starting fresh with a different coach next year sounds real nice. Yeah, again, we're going to see. It's all going to depend on how the rest of this year goes. I really think so. That being said, I still wouldn't mind seeing Hackstall with a full off season. I legit think that would make a big difference for all parties involved, especially guys like Philip Grubauer. So we'll just have to see. And again, that'll be the thing to keep perspective on if they don't move on from him. Michael, you need this team to perform especially poorly to think about a coaching change after just 1 year, but I mean gestures at everything. Exactly. That's just the way it is right now. JMG, Hackstall just isn't the right coach for this team. Looked like a lot of empty seats tonight. It did look like a lot of empty seats tonight. I know that there was some public transit stuff going on. Don't know how much of that is the losing streak and everything. Don't know how much of that is COVID right now. Talked on somewhere, whether it was a post game live or one of the podcasts. I was at an Anaheim Ducks game, and it was the emptiest I've ever seen that building. And it's not like that building fills up either, but it was maybe 50% full. I think the COVID situation right now is kind of keeping fans away from all the arenas. Q Stealth, LA's defense was really good tonight. They were really good tonight. They did a good job of bottling up the Kraken when they were trying to do anything as far as their perimeter work. I thought that they stayed right on them. They were very aggressive. Did a great job of just getting sticks on the puck. Like when the Kraken had it, or when the Kraken were chasing it into the corner, they just did a good job of making sure that they were there disrupting whatever the Kraken player was trying to do. And at the end of the day, that's the job of defense, right? You don't want the offense to be able to do what they want to do. They're a good unit. They got some good veterans in there. They're just a really, really solid team. But I think the real surprise for me watching them kind of for the first time this season this closely, the way they're running that offense right now is it's really something to watch. Very surprised to see that from a team with so many young players too, and then so many kind of defensively conscious forwards as well. But that might be why they decided to go with this system. But it was interesting to watch, and I see why they're being so successful right now. Thanks for posting the pre-game theatrics. I still want a mascot and fast forward to next season when we should be winning more. That's from Kraken Hawk. We're gonna get there. Don't worry about it. But yes, I feel you. I feel you. Stu, still think my prediction of the over/under of 20 wins sounds silly. Lol. I know. It's still it in my mind it has to, but yeah, we're getting there, I guess. Sergeant Pickles, 3 duds. The ice basically being a slip and slide. McCann ringing the iron far too often, and Susie basically becoming the new Lauzon with terrible outlet passes. Yeah, what's up with that from Susie? Because beginning of the year, he was one of their best guys when it came to that, and he's definitely struggled as of late. Kind of interesting, kind of surprising, but we'll see. Let's see, and then yeah, the McCann stuff. That's just brutal. Brutal. But again, we've seen him score. He'll score again. Like to see Eberle get a goal, though. That would be nice. Nathan, I hope they're not just waiting for me to get into town on Friday to break the streak. Maybe they are, Nathan. I'd take it. Get in there. See if you can move up, your plans a little bit, maybe. It'll give us an idea. Ty, finally beat Vegas at pre-games anyway. Good lord. Yeah, I did like this pregame maybe more than the Vegas one. It's kind of comparing apples to oranges though, I feel like, because Seattle went for very much something stylized to Seattle and to this team, whereas Vegas very much plays to the big show of it all. So I felt like they were trying to kind of do 2 different things, but I thought the pregame show was very good. Sergeant Pickles, bonus dud. Somehow the quality of the play is inverse to how rad the intro is. Oh, man. It's just, you guys are killing me tonight. I love it. They deked us on the mascot reveal. That's from Jared. Yeah, I really thought it was coming tonight as part of everything. Who knows what they're waiting for? I don't know at this point. It seems time. We're 37 games in. Seems time. If you're going to do a mascot this year, it seems like it's time. Kitty B. Kraken, talking trash on my Bengals hat. Hey, we got the great quarterback. We're going to the next round. No skin off my back. Daniel, my prediction, Kraken will make a 10-game losing streak. It'll be interesting, especially because the next game's Chicago, right? And Chicago had that great shutout tonight from Flower. Chicago might be playing good. That game might be hard. Who knows? We're gonna find out. Things didn't do too great when they played each other last time. Let's see, Lindsay. I thought the pregame was over like 3 different times when it went all dark, and then nope. It's back for more. It did have some elements of that, and I think that that's one of those things. I don't know if, Lindsay, you were in the building. I think probably in the building there was probably low rumbling, I think, as far as the audio stuff goes. That gives you the hint that it's still going. But certainly if you're just like watching on your phone, harder to pick up on some of those cues, I think. Krakenhawk, this game was bittersweet. I grew up outside LA and was a Kings fan. Now they are my second favorite team now that I'm in Seattle. Well, then, yeah, I mean, maybe it doesn't sting too bad then? Maybe? Hunter, I feel bad for those season ticket owners. They got baited. You know what, though? You got to be a season ticket holder for the first year of the Seattle Kraken franchise. I still think that that's pretty dope, and had I had the ability to do so, I would have still gladly done it, regardless, just to say you were there for all those games and everything, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. As we've seen ticket like resale prices and stuff kind of drop off a little bit here. I know what you mean. Sergeant Pickles, it's not great when I have no idea what day or who we are playing next and find out via Twitter updates day of. They used to be exciting even in defeat, but the effort and execution is lacking. I feel like the effort's picking up. I feel like the execution might even still be picking up, but I hear you, Sergeant Pickles. They've lost 9 in a row. It's still not great. And yeah, it is hard sometimes, even for me, just to you start watching, you see the early goals come in, and you're just like, no, again, really, do we have to? And it does end up that way. Next goal, by the way, is against Chicago on Monday, and it is a 2 p.m. start, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for those of you not in the time zone. So that'll be fun. An afternoon game. Should be interesting. Lindsay, both of the shots that went in against Drieger were rebounds. If Driegs can clean up the juicy ones or make sure our D-men box out their forwards, clear the slot, I like our chances most night with Driegs in net. I 1000% agree. Again, he's a goalie. That's his one flaw, is those rebounds and sometimes getting out of position because he's a little aggressive. But really, it's those rebounds. So yes, when he's in net, if the D knows and is a little bit more aware of that, I got to think that you could shore up a lot of stuff. And realistically, it wasn't bad tonight. Like he came up with some massive saves, and that's something that we just haven't seen any Kraken goaltender give us this year. So that was really fun to see. I hope we get to see more of him sooner rather than later. Cameron, does Larson look like he watches sometimes and just slowly coasts to some open puck in our zone? Kind of looks like he lacks sometimes. Thoughts? I would say earlier in the year, not so much. I think the losing streak has gotten to him somewhat. Either that or maybe he's a little dinged up dealing with something that we're just not aware of. But I hear you. There are times where he seems a little slow on things, or a little like, you almost see it like the recognition of, well, I could be over there, but I'm just not gonna. You know what I mean? So I've kind of been picking up on the same thing, Cameron. I hear what you're saying. So far, it hasn't been too like bad for anything. He hasn't like totally cost anything big, but it is something maybe worth keeping an eye on, especially if they start winning and if that changes. Because otherwise, we'll know then if it's just a product of the losing streak, which can certainly get to guys, or if it's a product of just maybe a nagging injury. Kraken Hawk, the Kraken have to do some aiming drills. They need to hit the net, not the post. Multiple shots in this game were just a hair short of being goals. For me, the ones that are killer aren't so much the ones that hit the post or crossbar. It's the stuff that goes wide or over the net. McCann does this a lot. Eberle does it somewhat too, where they just launch it over the net. Like there's just too much lift on it. And those are so brutal to me because it's like, at least get it on net. Make the goalie have to make a save. Come on. But I hear what you're saying. That being said, that mostly happens just because they're trying to launch it as fast as possible. And the fact that it is hitting the post means it is getting past the goalie. So that's where one of those, in theory, as we've been saying all year, in theory, luck should start flipping at some point, and those goals will maybe hit the post and go in rather than bouncing out. Your guess is as good as mine as for when that luck, law of averages thing comes to be. I would have thought it would have happened by now. Just not happening though. Hunter, they are waiting for a win for the mascot reveal. That's why it's been taking so long. Could be, could be. Although they didn't wait for the pregame stuff, so we'll see if Monday there's a mascot. That would tell us some stuff, wouldn't it? All right, is this RJ? All right, RJ's ready to go. Let me go queue up everybody's favorite part of this whole thing, which is the loading screen for RJ, and we'll be right back. As I try to mute. All right, RJ. What's
Nice
uh
hat.
what's going on? What's going on?
You think I'd miss that? Yeah, nice hat, Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
All right, so the pregame show. That was pretty sweet.
and it was pretty cool. Kind of, getting to see a little preview of it this morning. I, couldn't say anything, but knew everyone was going to be in for a treat with
All right.
that one.
All right. Did they tell all of you guys in the media to just put out a tweet that basically said the same thing? Because like 8 of you all put out, "Hey, if you're coming to the game tonight, you want to be there 5 minutes early." I'm like, did they just give you those words? Like, what was up with that?
No, they didn't. I saw. Okay, so we were there, and we knew that like can't say anything, right?
Hmm.
And then someone asked, like, well, hey, can we tell people to kind of get there early because something's going on? And they said yes. So then we all just scrambled to our phones and were like, okay, come early, get in your seats, that sort of thing. So that's how that happened.
Yeah, because you'd think they'd want it hyped up some. I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
For sure. And they didn't want people out in the concourse, getting beers or whatever, just missing it. So yeah, and so the team put out something later too, saying everyone get in their seats by 6:55.
Yeah. Uh, Too bad those of us on Espen Plus couldn't see it. Thankfully,
Oh, really?
yeah, I
Uh,
know it's dumb. Thankfully, you uploaded that video for everybody, both on Twitter and then now on the channel. The big question everybody's been asking though is where the mascot was.
Nowhere to be found. And that was one of the things this morning. They did the whole thing, showed the players and Hackstall and everyone, and there was no mascot. So I figured that none was coming today. I don't know when a mascot will be there. I haven't, you just hear so many little rumblings and things around that turn out like not to be true also. So I don't want to like tell you guys anything because I don't think it's reliable really,
Right.
but certainly not tonight. And I don't know when. I really don't know. But I don't know. I'd like the team to maybe say something. I feel bad. They've left their fans hanging.
Yeah.
And that's not cool to do. So, there were a lot of fans, I think, who anticipated the mascot reveal tonight,
Hmm.
and it didn't come. So I think one way or another, they just got to stop leaving people hanging.
Yeah. Agreed.
Oh, hi.
Hi. He just came to say hello.
Oh,
Oh,
cool. Hey,
hey,
here's
how's
from
it
Ryan
going?
Clark in the Athletic. He wrote that great article about the game day
Don't forget
experience.
Marissa.
Marissa from the Seattle Times. I was getting to you. Say
Hey.
hi to everyone on the post game.
Hey everyone.
Yo, Bengals. How about them?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Raiders fan, so he's making sure to wear the hat. He's a Bengals fan. I'm a Raiders
I'm a
fan.
Patriots fan, so
Oh boy. Well,
Good for Andy.
all right. Share of the pain today.
Yeah. That was.
over it. The Patriots.
Okay. I mean, yeah, fair enough.
No, he decided to just wanted to come over and say hello. So
Well, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
sure they like that in chat. So
they're,
Yeah.
they're probably like, "Oh my God, it's Marissa," and they're like, "We have no idea who the other guy is." I know. It's Everett Fitzhugh. He's too tall to
Oh my
the
God.
ground.
Look at it.
there we go. All right, give it up for Allison, Lucan, and Everett Fitzhugh, everybody.
Hey.
Bye,
Good to
everyone.
see you.
See you, buddy.
That was a fun surprise. All right, RJ. At morning skate this morning, did they work on 6-on-4 power play, empty net type scenarios?
Good question. No, they did not.
All right, all right.
Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah, sorry there everybody. All right, Sergeant Pickles, as cool as the intro is, I feel lied to concerning a mascot. I will default to Inky until further notice. Yeah, lots of mascot stuff tonight, RJ. Michael, feeling a little salty tonight, so I want to mention Beniers with 2 more points tonight. Kid is looking like a two-way superstar. Who is your NHL comp for him? All right, so I have a couple scouting videos on Beniers on the channel. If you want to go check those out, Michael. My comp, you'll see a lot of Bergeron around, and I get it because of the two-way abilities that he has, and I like that to a point. Actual playing style, and again, not saying he's anywhere close to being the next Sid the Kid, but tell me he doesn't look like Sidney Crosby when you watch him play. Just the way he goes about doing things, the certain spots on the ice that he likes to be, the way he'll handle the puck, protect the puck, all that stuff. I look at it as someone who was a Penguins fan before all this, and I just see Sid when I watch him. Again, he's not going to be Sidney Crosby. He's going to be great, but he's not going to be that great. Let's not put those expectations on him, but I see Crosby when I watch him. All right, Lindsay, calling it now. We snapped the losing streak on Monday against Chicago. Let us manifest it. You got that, RJ?
Yep.
Can you do that?
It's coming.
Think really, really
The
hard.
early game, the sunlight through the window will help it be so.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really fun. Ty, Florida put up 16 goals the last 2 games. We have to go all the way back to the Oilers game for 16 lol on December 18th.
What a stat. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But hey, the Kraken beat the Panthers, so
That's what I said earlier when we were talking about this. Ty also saying wouldn't call it against Marc-Andre Fleury, the potential win. Great game tonight from him. Sergeant Pickles, do the Kraken need to be active at the deadline and really sort through which players they want long term, even if it's 4 picks? Yeah, and I think internally they've probably come to most of the conclusions on guys. We've been talking about it the last couple podcasts and stuff, so you got to think that those conversations are going on inside the building as well.
for sure.
Let's see, got some manifesting of a win. As a Kraken and Oilers fan, it has been a million years since I last saw a win, and it was against the Kraken, so I couldn't even really enjoy it. I am the nexus of winlessness. That is from poor Striatic right now, RJ.
Yeah, the Oilers are in free fall right now.
I don't know what to tell you, bud. Like that's kind of next level.
Yeah, that's almost impressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a football team still in it. You can root for somebody, something, somewhere. It's winter time, so you can't even necessarily go outside and enjoy nature to help make up for it either. Jared, do we not have anyone that can split defenders, and is that why we do the dump and chase? That's partly why we do the dump and chase, but I feel like they have guys that could do it. Like anybody's capable of doing it. You just got to be aggressive.
Exactly. I mean, these are skilled players. Anyone's capable of it, like you said. At this level of hockey, it's just a decision thing at a certain point.
Mm-hmm. Kraken Hawk with the hashtag Start Drieger. Brian, go Kings, go. Sorry, we're getting closer to a lottery pick. I mean, that is true. If you're a fan of both these teams, tonight works out kind of well for you.
I was hoping Brian would show up in chat knowing he's a Kings/Kraken fan, how he felt about this one.
Yes. Striatic, I feel like the turbo injury created a vortex of negative energy that sunk both teams. It's entirely possible, actually.
Yeah.
We've definitely seen stranger. Sergeant Pickles is allowing Brian this, but only once. Ty, I about spit my beer all over the place when the Vote for Geo commercial came on. Nope, lol. Hey, unless we think that it's going to help increase his trade value.
That's the thing. We need to pump those tires.
Mm-hmm. Vote Drieger. Vote Drieger. Vote Geo, everybody.
Right in Drieger.
Yes. Oh, boy. Nathan, was Vegas just more talented in year one than we are, or was it luck? Other than McCann, doesn't feel like we've had any major breakout guys while Vegas had several. Part of it was, I don't know. There's a lot of factors that went into it all.
It's a big conversation. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I do think that Vegas team was more talented than this Kraken team.
I do too.
There's a lot of reasons behind that.
Yeah, I do too. They had a little bit better access to talent that first year.
Goaltending.
And goaltending especially. Yes, that's been the big difference. Let's see, we got Absurdly Sane agreeing about Turbo. I think he brings some intangibles to the group that they seem to be lacking right now. I think guys are trying to fill that void. Guys like Yanni Gord at times, like we saw tonight. Ryan Donato to some extent. It's hard.
Yeah.
That special sauce that some guys have, like Turbo, it's hard to replicate. Lindsay, currently at a 10.9% chance of getting the first overall pick with only Arizona and Montreal above us. Hashtag pain for Shane train continues. Those are pretty good odds.
Yeah, Arizona got a point against Colorado. They're catching up. Ottawa just passed.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see. This is from Greg. Tonight was again a display of our team has a lot more talent than you. Try and beat us. We rarely are going to win even with great effort. Yeah, it's just these games are so much harder to some extent, RJ. The ones where
I know.
it's right there. Just win.
I know, in it the whole time. Yeah. It's just generating that extra goal or that extra bounce.
Yeah, it was good. That's what I said earlier. It's a lot of this luck stuff that we thought was going to turn around has just, for whatever reason, not turned around somehow.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. Medeiros, hey! I hate 6v4 a lot, but watching that new intro thing after the final buzzer hit me right in my aggressively homesick feels in a good way. Good, I'm glad. Yeah, the 6v4 is brutal. The way it looks right now.
What can we say?
Geo Show, what about next season? Suggests we will be significantly changed. Something needs to happen. Just the fact that they're going to have a full off season.
Yeah. A full off season, I think you're going to see the roster look very different as well.
Yeah. Nicholas, thanks for the coverage, guys. What's your drop dead number where a coaching change has to happen? So yes, this was talked about earlier. Like, if this losing streak just keeps going, do they at some point fire Hackstall just because you have to?
Okay, my number is 18.
Okay, I said...
And the reason my number is 18 is because that would set the record for the longest losing streak in NHL history.
Yeah, and I very much agree with that. I said close to 20, so it's right in there. I agree. So 18 is the number. Stu, Vegas was an anomaly. We're behaving much more like the normal first-year team. I think the normal is probably somewhere in the middle ground.
Yeah, certainly with the new expansion rules.
I mean, we're bad for traditional expansion teams, much less with the more beneficial rules. Hunter, Arizona's only 2 games behind us in the lottery standings and have the head-to-head against us, so maybe that's a good thing. Only time will tell. Man, you know what? Watching the Patriots get blown out in the playoffs. Oh, man, you know what? Fun watching the Patriots get blown out. Yes, that is always fun.
Yep, no, that's nice.
Vegas was certainly an anomaly, but I thought we'd at least be close to a playoff spot by the end of the year. We really did. We really did. Sergeant Pickles, Dylan, my man, you had 4 Cali teams, Raiders still count, to pick, and you somehow landed on a team that hadn't won a playoff game in your lifetime. Damn, that is real self-loathing. What can I say? That's just the kind of guy I am. No, it's because I picked all my favorite teams when I was 4 based on like logos and mascots. That's why I ended a Penguins fan, because how could you not? Cute little penguin playing hockey. And the Bengals, look at those helmets. They're sick. The tiger stripes. That's awesome.
The Kraken are just trying to prevent 4-year-olds from getting into pain by not having a mascot yet.
Exactly. It's all for the kids. That's what this is all about. Let's see. Burnt Cream, I live 15 minutes from NHL hockey. I'll take it, assuming you mean the Kraken. Let's see. Greg, what is this? STH has got baited. Sounds like a hater. I'm in for 7 years. People that got tickets to make money aren't real fans. Yeah, season ticket holders getting baited. That idea potentially get floated around.
Yep.
I think it's too early. I think it's too early.
Yeah.
Cut down on the dumb turnovers tonight. At least they did. Let's see. It'll be 3 or 4 years before we make the playoffs, potentially. Let's see. I wonder how dusty the Barnacle pirate hat is now. Do they even remember where they put it? Rip. That's from Lindsay.
Oh, no. I know. Got to keep track of that thing.
I know. Oh,
Does Rieger still have it?
Probably, right?
Wow.
Let's see. Reading ID. They did wait for a tsunami to roll the pregame show in, though. I mean, they did. They did. Hopefully, it's not going to cause problems for anybody out there. But yes, Inky's our boy. I agree. Inky is our boy. Sadly, the volcano wasn't loud enough to awaken the Kraken. Nathan.
Boy.
Saw the 1-4-1 again tonight, lol. Also, a lot of crowding the puck when it's along the boards. 3, sometimes 4. Passing wasn't on point like we've seen. All in all, I'm missing Tanev. We need some fire. It's just how it is. It seems that's the common thread, RJ. That right there. 6v4 needs improvement, needs work on in practice. Because clearly it's just gonna happen now.
Just devote the whole practice to it.
Yep, Medeiros, Dylan, it's very funny how much people in Louisiana still have nothing but rabid love for Joey B due to his final run at LSU and him wearing number 9. I mean, in all fairness, that was an incredible season, and that's probably going to be the last time LSU wins for a while. So I get it. And who doesn't love him? Everybody reacting to Ryan Clark and Marissa being on here. Everybody loves it. Alex, hey everybody.
Next time I'll ask him a question or something. Let me know
I
in chat
know,
what you
I
want to know
know.
from them.
Hey everybody, didn't get a chance to catch the game either, but seemed like a slog from Alex. Most of it was just more of the same. That's how I describe it. Deja vu all over again was my saying earlier. Let's see. Oilers have 2 best players in the world and still dropping like lead. Yeah, see, I mean, it can happen to anybody. That's all I'm saying. Actually, would you be able to explain how the draft order works? I've never watched a draft before. All right, so in the NHL, all the non-playoff teams get thrown into a weighted lottery with increased odds based on how bad you were. So obviously the last place team has the largest percentage of winning the first overall pick. And they still do it where they do the lottery for the top 3, right? Or did they do away with that?
I think they made it 2.
Okay, so then they do a lottery for the top 2 picks now. They changed it like 3 times in 5 years. It was really hard to keep up.
Get used to it. They'll change it every 2 or 3 years because someone will complain.
Exactly. This explanation will be outdated by the time the lottery comes around, I'm sure. They'll do a lottery for those top 2 picks, so that, you can't totally tank and still end up with maybe the second overall pick, I guess is the theory of that. But that's basically how it works. It's just a weighted lottery that'll determine the first 2 picks, and then from then on, it's just, worst to best for the draft order. We have no finishers. I mean, we have some. They just got unlucky tonight. Lots of posts tonight. McCann and Donato could be trigger guys given the players to feed them. Even Geeky has shot given the looks. Yes, I agree. Geeky's missed right now, I think, a lot, RJ.
Yeah, for sure. And also on that last comment, they have finishers. They just don't have enough finishers that they can overlap basically when one guy's kind of not getting the puck bounces or the luck or whatever, that other guys can kind of be on while other guys are off.
Yeah, agreed. Hextall has instilled the defensive structure but killed any semblance of rush offense. It's bad. Their neutral zone, everything is bad.
It is. They don't have a whole lot of speed hitting the blue line. They don't have, good looking short passes, those plays coming into the zone that can back off the defense. They're just kind of resigned to dumping it in or basically losing it at the blue line. And their offense generation has suffered because of it.
1,000% agreed. Jared, what are some of the other top prospects after Shane you think could be good for the Kraken? I saw Morgan Geeky has a brother in the top 5. Yeah, Connor Geeky. Savoy. We're still not quite sure how it's pronounced. He looks really good. And then there's my, what's his name? Lambert, right? My Finn.
Yeah, Brad Lambert.
Brad Lambert, yeah.
I like Finnish, remember?
Yes, that's what I say. He's my Finn. Brad Lambert. I like them as well. Nicholas, why do we only try to chip pucks in? Other teams skate in on us all the time and create better chances. I mean, your guess is as good as ours. Neither one of us will rush an answer that. Yeah. It's hard. Sergeant Pickles, if it helps at all, Dylan, my mom who doesn't hates sports also likes the Bengals because of their helmet. I mean, they're the best helmets. They just are.
They're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. Come on. Couldn't tell, but was the arena sold out? Looked like a lot of empty chairs.
It was a sellout. I mean, all these games are officially going to be sellouts. But yeah, I mean, and especially kind of at the start of periods, things like that, sometimes you can see some empty seats. But as far as like the crowd energy, I thought it was about as good as any of the other games, this season, especially considering, where they're at win-loss wise.
Yeah, it is Savoie, according to Grizza Smash. Thank you for that.
All right.
Let's see. Hunter, at this point, I prefer losses over wins to help our draft position, but 10-plus game losing streaks are unacceptable. We're going to see if we get there.
Yep. I mean, Unacceptable was the word that Drieger used after the game today. He just said dropping 9 in a row is completely unacceptable. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Sergeant Pickles, sorry to not have really hockey questions for you guys. I'm sure it must feel like a broken record, but I just appreciate your dedication to these post-game chats. Brighten my mood, win or lose. No worries, Sergeant Pickles. We're right there with everybody, I think, in all this.
Oh, for sure.
It's just, it is what it is. We're trying to make the best of it, and I feel like everybody's helping us do that. It's been fun. Nathan would love to take a selfie for the Twitter on Friday. Lousy team aside, really excited to see the new arena and experience NHL hockey in my hometown. Go Kraken. Yes, Nathan going to be there on Friday, RJ. Going to bring the wins.
Cool.
Going to bring the wins.
Yes, Nathan. Be the good luck charm here, and I'm happy to take a selfie with you for Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Alex, team needs an electric offensive player. Lambert would fit the bill. I agree. Kitty B. Kraken with the Bengals helmets suck too. Be careful, Kitty B. Kraken. You're skating on thin ice now. Come after the hat, that's one thing, but those helmets are good. That's the most unfinished name I could imagine from Sergeant Pickles. That's what makes it fun. It's like a surprise. Yep. Let's see. Nicholas, there were as many marriage proposals as Kraken goals tonight at Climate Pledge. Yep.
Yep. I don't know if they showed that on the TV, but congrats to them.
Sound of Hockey.
She said, yeah, she said yes. Yep.
Yeah, Sound of Hockey had it out on Twitter. Let's see. Where were we? Lindsay, I mean, this is a historic inaugural season for the Kraken. Why not set another record by breaking the 18-game losing streak? Kidding, but also not kidding, but also laughing through the pain. It would be just another feather in that cap. Just another feather in that cap. Medeiros, we can always petition to play the Sabres again, perhaps. It's worth a shot. If we run into a string of opponents that have to postpone games, we just go, hey, can we have, the Sabres? In Florida, can we just do that again? We looked pretty good
That's not unfair, right?
No, I gotta think everybody would agree to that. Let's see, Ty, did you see LA use the drop pass to get into the zone on their first power play? I was shocked. LA's whole offensive zone thing, the way they were cycling the puck and themselves just to create that chaos and get the Kraken in complete disarray. I mean, that is what I was talking about early in the season, if you remember, RJ. Like, I just want to see the Kraken try it.
I know, so much movement. I mean, even it's too much at times from them, but at least they're trying it. They're keeping the Kraken on their heels. Mm-hmm. You've just got guys moving all over the place in the offensive zone. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and that's how you get Yarncroke and Donskoy as the two closest defenders to the goal on that first goal. So everybody just gets so confused. Love it. Let's see. Win or lose, still root for our teams. From Jared. Agree. We're here, man. Brian, the Kings didn't do that prior to him coming in as the coach. Talk about McClellan. Your favorite, right? Who do you like more, McClellan or DeBoer?
Is this even a question? Peter DeBoer DeBoer is a fantastic coach, one of the best in the league. Todd McClellan, I don't know that he'll ever win a playoff series again. So
I wasn't asking who was better. I was asking who's more your favorite, given your Sharks history.
Oh yeah, well, I easily DeBoer. I think McClellan was one of the worst, decisions they ever made. DeBoer is a great coach, so.
Wow, listen to that, everybody. Probably not wrong. Cameron, any ideas when the postponed games get rescheduled? Had tickets to the Senator games, still really want to go. Yeah, it's still nothing about that, right? Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought we would know that by this weekend, given some of the comments.
I mean, they've confirmed at least that they're going to try to reschedule everything during what was the Olympic break, right? Or are we just still assuming that's the case?
Well, I actually haven't heard that for sure. We're assuming that's the case, but still, they definitely have to reschedule some of it for the Olympic break, or a majority of it. Just logistically, they have to.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't just let everyone know on February 1st, right? I mean, this is the NHL, so nothing. Yeah, this is the NHL, so I suppose nothing would surprise me too much. But still, they've got to let people know soon.
Right. I don't know. It's weird. I think they're probably still waiting to see all of the games that they're going to need, because you look on any given night and there's still 2, 3, 4 games postponed. Like, it's just a problem. So I don't know if they're waiting to figure all that out, but I gotta hope for everybody, not just you, Cameron, but anybody who has tickets to those games, you want to know that answer, and you deserve to know that answer. Jared also loved the ECH after games. Love it. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jared.
Any chance of you guys having other Kraken media special guests for a pod or post game? That would be so much fun. I mean, we could certainly talk about that, because I do think that would be fun to kind of get some other opinions on everything.
Yeah, for sure. And I talked to people around here. I can invite them on the pod or something. I think it'd be good to get some other voices too covering the team.
Exactly. And then from Nathan, what about team chemistry? Does the team like each other? If Gio isn't into it, will the rest be motivated?
Oh man, you feel this one, Dylan?
I mean, I think the team likes each other. I think they're a team, and it's hard not to like guys on a team, and not to just get kind of lost and caught up in the camaraderie aspect of it, of the winning and losing together, of the going out there and battling together thing. I think that is just something that you can't help but be a part of when you're in these situations, unless somebody does you dirty.
Yeah, and exactly. And even with all the frustration, I never see it like boil over at each other. It's everyone looking kind of inward. And when teams don't like each other, that frustration kind of comes out at each other. And I have not once seen that.
Right, exactly. And we haven't heard anything. You hear rumblings when that stuff goes on.
For sure. And I haven't heard any of that.
Yeah. Brian asking 3 duds. 3 duds, it's hard.
Only 3?
I know.
I don't know. Did you already do the 3 studs?
We kind of did. Yeah, I don't know that there is necessarily 3 duds entirely. I'll throw Lazon out there just for getting manhandled a couple times.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see, especially from him.
Yeah, can't do that. Let's see. How long does the inaugural team's first coach usually last on average? They usually last through the season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you look at Gallant, he lasted, 3 years? And that was actually shorter than most people thought, but given that amount of success.
Yeah.
Usually 2 to 3 years is the timeline that they're given.
Yep. Ty saw 50 viewers at one point. Notice we're up to 1.98 thousand subscribers now. Tell your friends,
there
people.
We go.
It's all you, Ty. You've helped out a ton with that. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Ty.
SJ wants Marissa on the pod. Enjoyed her on the Steve Dangle podcast.
Cameron, yeah, that's right. She should go on the Dangle podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, Cameron, that'd be painful if they didn't reschedule that one. It was a Christmas present. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Cameron. It'll get rescheduled. It's just a matter of when you'll know about it. On the Winnipeg WHL play-by-play, guy says Savoy. So now we're getting conflicting reports. Sergeant Pickles wants to let RJ get some sleep. GG on the Bengals, Dylan. Good night, everyone. Good night, Sergeant Pickles. Yeah, Rexology with the Savoy. So that's gonna be an interesting one. We'll look into it and try to have an answer.
We gotta get to
for
the bottom
Monday.
of this, yeah.
But that's gonna do it for this stream, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, we're gonna get back to the wins. We're gonna get back to the wins.
The wins are coming. I think against San Jose.
Yes.
And Chicago.
Yes.
But certainly San Jose.
Gotta hope so. And remember that Monday game against Chicago is a 2 p.m. game. So
everyone remember.
Make sure to remember that you don't miss it. One last thing from Lindsay. Oh wait, before I go, I showed an ECH clip to my friend and she said that RJ has a broadcaster smile, so make of that what you will, lol. It depends on the type of broadcaster, because I feel like for some broadcasters that's a good thing, but if it's like 11 o'clock news at night broadcaster smile, then I would take that as a fake smile.
Yeah, clearly meant radio broadcaster smile. That's
there we go.
Smile fit for radio.
Yes, there we go. All right, and on that we'll especially like that. All right, on that one we're gonna call it a night. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you next time.